JSSCE students, if a question says find the LCM of 12 and 18 and you are still listing multiples till 100, you are going to run out of time in your exam. Today, I will show you 2 ways to get LCM in 30 seconds. And the first method is the multiples. That's method 1 will be multiples. While the method 2 is going to be by prime factorization. And again, I'm going to show you the one mistake that makes students lose mark in their exams. So stay with me as we go. Now let's look at what LCM is. LCM is simply lowest common multiple. It is the smallest number that both numbers can divide into perfectly. For instance, when you are asked to find the LCM of 4 and 6, right? Finding their LCM, we can say that the answer is 12. Reason is because 12 is the smallest number that can divide both 4 and 6 without having a remainder. We also know that 24 can divide 4 and 6 without having a remainder. So with 36 can equally divide 4 and 6 without having a remainder. But the one we are looking at is the smallest number. That's the lowest multiple of 4 and 6, which is this. And that is why 12 is the LCM of 4 and 6. Now let's look at the first method, which is listing multiples. Alright, now for this method, you can use it for small numbers. Alright, so let's look at example 1. Example 1, when we are asked to find the LCM of 4 and 6. Alright, finding the LCM of 4 and 6, we can use this method by first of all listing the multiples of 4. The multiples of 4 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. While the multiples of 6 and so on, while the multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, and so on. Now, how did we get their multiples? You can get it, for instance, for 4, we got it by multiplying 4 consecutively. By when we multiply 4 by 1, we are going to get 4. Then multiply 4 by 2, we will get 8, and so on. Same thing with 6. We multiply 6 by 1 and got 6, 6 by 2 and got 12, 6 by 3 and got 18, and so on. So once you have listed all their multiples, the next thing you are going to do is to look out for the first number that they have in common. The number that they have in common, the first one is, if you watch, you have 12 here, and you equally have 12 here. Alright, now you know that if you continue this, you're going to get 24. Right? Now we have 24 here, we have 24 here, but the LCM is not 24. Reason, because it's not their lowest common multiple. The lowest common multiple here is this, is 12, because this is the first number that they have in common. The first number that you can find in 4 and also find in 6. So their LCM becomes 12. Alright? Now listen to this exam tips. Stop listing once you see a common number, so that you won't waste your time solving it or listing it. Now let's look at the method 2, which is prime factorization. You can use this in your exams. It is faster when you are given a bigger numbers. Alright, so let's look at an example. Got it, example 2. We are asked to find the LCM of 12 and 18. Now the first thing we are going to do here is to break 12 and 18 down to prime factors. Now let's look at what prime factors are. Prime factors of a number are the factors of the number that are prime. Now we know that prime numbers are the numbers that are divisible to itself and 1. Then after breaking them down, the next thing we are going to do is to collect all the prime factors and then multiply them. Alright, so let's break 12 down into its prime factor. So what we are going to do here, we're going to look for two numbers that when we multiply them together, we're going to get this. And we have 3 and 4. Alright, now if you look at this 4 is not a prime number. So we are still going to break 4 down into its prime factor. And breaking it down, we are going to have 2 times 2. Alright, so for 12, we are having 2 times 2 times 3. Alright, if we also use 6 and 2, we know that 6 is not a prime number. So we are still going to break it down into 2 times 3. Alright, which will also equally give us 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so for 18, we will also look for two numbers that when we multiply them together, we're going to get 18. We have 3 times 6. Alright, it will give us 18. Now, 6 is not a prime number. So we are going to break 6 down into its prime factor, which will give us 2 times 3. So for 18, we now have 2 times 3 times 3. Alright? Now, since we have gotten their prime factor, for 12 we have this, and for 18 we have this. What we are going to do next is to collect all the prime factors. Alright, now if you watch, we have 2 here and we have 2 here, so we're going to call it just a single 2. Now we equally have 2 here. This 2 will stand on its own times 2. We have this 3 here, we have this 3. We will call it single 3. Then this 3 will equally stand on its own. Now we have gotten their prime factor. So the next thing is to multiply them together. Alright? So multiplying them, we are going to have 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 3, 12. 12 times 3 will give us 36. So the LCM of 12 and 18 is equals to 36. Now let's look at the mistake that students do make. The biggest mistake I have seen students make in exam, including BECE, is confusing LCM with HCF. Now let's look at their difference. For HCF is simply highest common factor, while LCM is lowest common multiple. So LCM and HCF are not the same. So you have to pay attention to what you are asked to find. Don't start looking for LCM when you are asked to find HCF. And don't look for HCF when you are asked to find LCM, because I have observed this. When you ask a student to find LCM in exam, he will end up looking for the HCF and vice versa. So try to avoid this mistake. Don't confuse LCM with HCF or HCF with LCM. They are different. All right? Now, I want you to do this. I want you to find the LCM of 8 and 12 using prime factorization. Once you have done that, drop your answer in the comment. I'm going to mark it with good or bad. That is, if you got the right answer, I will use the good emoji, and if you get the wrong answer, I'm going to use the bad emoji. And if this video has helped you, I want you to hit the subscription button for the next video.